ladies all over the world. We're gonna see you. Oh no.
Or for Italy.
Italy.
Or for Brazil.
Brazil.
Because I'm a Brazilian.
You're Brazilian now.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the Dirt Trail Running Podcast. My name is Michelle Hartwig, and I am your host. And I am here with my co-host today is Coach Loretta. Sometimes we have Crystal the Pistol, but today we have Coach Loretta with us.
Thank you. So honored to be here with Chris and Dan.
And yes, we're super excited about our guest. We're already in love with them, just getting to meet him a little bit before we started. So we have Chris Nikic and his coach, Dan Grieb. And we all watched as Chris Nikic earned a spot on the Guinness Book of World Records on November 7th, 2020, by becoming the first person with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman triathlon. So congratulations, and what an inspiration. Like, we watched both of your smiles as you crossed that finish line, and it meant so much to so many people.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was an honor to do it.
And you guys have done a really great job about your 1% better message. And we would like to know a little bit more about that. When did that get started, and what does that mean to you?
So I started with 1%, 1 sit-up, and 1 squat. What it means is a key to success. It's the phosphate that my dad created. But I'm in Florida, I was up to 200. And then by corner, up to 500.
500 what?
Of everything.
And what's everything? 500 push-ups?
Yeah.
500 what else?
Sit-ups.
500 sit-ups?
Yeah.
And 500 what?
Squats.
You're going to do 500 push-ups, 500 sit-ups, and 500 squats at one time?
Yeah.
Before Kona, Hawaii?
Yeah.
And when is Kona, Hawaii?
October 9th.
October 9th of this year?
Woo!
Oh my gosh. And now again, and how many push-ups did you start with at the very beginning?
200.
No, when you started.
One.
One push-up.
Yeah.
And how many sit-ups?
One
sit-up. And then how many squats?
One.
So you started with 1, and then you went to 200 at Ironman, Florida. And now your goal is to do 500.
Yeah.
And how are you going to do that? You're going to get what?
I'm going to get stronger.
You're going to get stronger, and you're going to get 1% better every day, right?
Yeah.
That's how we do it. And so, Chris, what are the rules that your dad taught you with 1% better? What do you got to do?
He taught me 3 simple rules. One is to work hard, and then for number 2 is to eat more chipotle, and then and for number 3, do it with a freaking smile.
And what was the last one? And not Chipotle.
You stop it. Make 0 excuses.
And because why?
And because
your coaches won't what?
I'm willing to do the work because it pays off, and other ladies are impressed with my workouts.
So it's about the ladies.
Yeah.
Well, we are 2 ladies that are definitely impressed with your workouts.
Right.
Don't get them started.
Yeah. They're right.
They're not actually.
Yes, you're also right. Stop it, decrease.
Okay.
And I really like that Chipotle rule in there.
Yeah. Which is double rice and double guacamole.
Is that the secret to finishing an Ironman? Double rice and double guacamole?
Yeah. Take.
All right, that's enough. Next question.
Okay, well, I saw that January 26th in Maitland, Florida, they have declared that Chris Nikic Day. What would you love to see everyone do in Maitland on your day?
I just want everyone to know that um, Chris Nikic Day is an optional. Um, they need to know that um, kids need to step it up. They need to notch it up. Um, the kids need to realize that God sent them to not be the so would not be called average, to let them go out and be part of the community and to spread the word about inclusion and love.
Love that. I mean, that's such a simple and clear message, right? That on the day that they honor Chris Nikic, he's asking that people like him just go out and do something to get more healthy. And that they remember that inclusion is important, right? Inclusion for him is just being around people, being introduced into the community. Not everybody can do all the same things, but everybody can make a difference. They all can impact. Every part of our community has a hole where every piece can fit. There's a piece for folks with Down syndrome. There's a piece for people with autism. There are a piece for people that are lonely and divorced and sad and overcoming illness and sickness and having their best days and celebrating. I mean, there's a piece for all of that in our community. And that's what Chris just said there. I love that. And last thing he said, tie it all together with love, right?
Mm.
See, Chris has an intellectual disability, and we see that on the outside. They say that Down syndrome is written all over his face. You can look at him and tell that he has this disability called Down syndrome. But what we fail to notice until you push right up against him, until you build a relationship with someone like Chris, is that his heart is so pure. In some cultures, they actually consider that divinity, where you ask him about what he wanted to do on his day, and he doesn't say a parade like you and I. He says, draw close to each other, love each other, give the best of yourselves, and get healthy. I mean, that's a real gem that he just shared there. That was awesome. I'm proud of you for that. I am really proud of you. That was awesome. Yes.
It was good. Very good and insightful. We can all learn from Chris.
Yes, you need a big hug.
Well, you are
So
inspiring.
I want to teach you about the hug real quick. So one of the things that Chris does is he understands human connection better than anybody else does, right? And so when he feels any type of emotion, he wants to center that. And so that hug was, just a proud moment for him, right? You felt loved, right? Mm-hmm. So he felt loved by what I just said about him, and he immediately needed to have human connection and hug me for it. Now, what one of the many lessons Chris has taught me is that I need to start off everything with a hug. When Chris is sad, he's going to hug you. If there's a conflict, he's going to hug you. If he's vulnerable, he's going to hug you. What would our lives be like if we entered into all conflict with a hug first? What if we greeted each other with love and respect and human connection first before anything else? Chris came into my world as a triathlete, and the hope was that we would change him and make him a triathlete. But the reality is Chris came into our world of triathletes and he changed us. And here's how. Triathletes like myself and Chris now, we have to do a lot of training on our own. We're training for 17-hour races. We're doing things that require a lot of selfish behavior. You got to wake up early, you got to go to sleep at a certain time, you got to eat the right things. It's actually breeds selfishness. The next thing is that people who do this are typically A-type personalities. They're very driven. They're typically more transactional first, people second. So it lends itself to competition and division. And Chris came in and started hugging everybody. Well, Chris immediately knocked those walls down, because when he's in the room, he's not judging himself. He's not measuring himself on how good he is based on how good I am. He's measuring himself on how much love he's receiving. And you can see that right here. Chris is he's in the place at the time doing exactly what he wants to do. and it's evident by the laughter, the joy he brings, and he brings that to everybody else. So in our triathlon world, we started off as being a little bit of a crotchety, competitive, difficult, A-type people, grumpy old people. And now we've turned into this big hugging culture that even when Chris is not around, we're hugging each other. That has changed us. I'm sure Loretta can speak to that, right? You've probably seen that in your days, whether no matter
Absolutely.
if it's or what.
Absolutely, and it's the best. And I'm sad that we're virtual right now and not all sitting in one room together. I would like a hug from Chris.
Well, like he'll get it figured out. You put it on the calendar and give her a hug one day.
Yeah.
Where do you live?
I live in Michigan.
Can you get up to Michigan to give her a hug one day? Okay, deal, done.
All right, there you go.
Deal.
Dinner.
Oh, and
All
dinner.
right.
Okay, you can't do dinner and hugs.
My tweet.
On you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have the pet.
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, no comment.
Oh, I'm not coming. He's going by himself.
Sure.
Oh, my wife can go, but I can't go. Okay. All right. Back to the interview.
There's an Ironman in Michigan. Just popping on up.
Oh yeah, the Steelhead, right? Is that what it's called?
Yep. Steelhead. Yep.
I'll do that with you.
Oh, okay. I can run, but I'm not sure I can swim and bike.
Because you're both.
Tell you, 1% better.
She has to.
Just 1% better.
1%
Yeah,
better.
think
I like that.
Loretta needs to start training. I think we know some coaches. Okay, well, as far as training goes, do you have a favorite sport between running, biking, swimming, or your strength workout?
My favorite's a running.
Ooh.
I have a cute butt. I have a cute, juicy butt. And this concept of why my butt is so cute. Because one day my dad had me running on a treadmill, and he noticed something. He noticed that my butt was getting cuter and cuter and cuter and adorable. And then one time we were at LA Fitness, and some ladies were walking by, and they saw my cute, juicy, adorable butt.
Okay. Okay.
And they started coming down to me. Like, is this you? Who is this? Is this an Ironman? I'm like, yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question. His favorite event is running because it gives him a cute butt. And that's what his dad has told him, and now he believes it to be true. So he recognizes that for the pain of running, there is a payoff.
There you go.
Good looking butt.
Yeah.
Well, we are a trail running community, so we all agree with you that running is fun.
Okay, kick him out.
Well, he's got a lot of fans popping up talking about how much they love you right now in our comments. And there's Ryan Steiner says him and his daughter Kayla want to run an Ironman now because of you, Chris.
Wow.
Well, we would love to help him do that. We'd love to help him do that. Tell him to reach out to Chris through Chris's Instagram or my Instagram, and we'd be happy to help him facilitate that one way or another.
Okay. I'm sure Ryan will. Ryan's a very special person in our community. He pushes his daughter in a stroller for all of his runs. So we'll have to make sure that they get connected.
You're a hero, Ryan. Thank you.
So let's see. We'll move on to the next question. And we are wondering, so we all watched your movie, and we are wondering what you were thinking when you fell during the Ironman and had the fire ants on your legs.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Let me ask you the question. So we have to take it one at a time, okay?
Okay.
So why don't you tell her about what happened and how you ended up stepping in the fire ant pile? Tell her about it.
So I was basically having fun. I was basically riding 50 and 90-day pace around 30-minute mile and a 4-minute mile. and someone had to step me off the bike to get nutrition and gas. And I mistakenly stepped on the Empire, and it basically went up to my ankle the whole freaking day, and it went up to my groin. And it went into my groin, and it really stinks in my groin.
Okay, enough of that.
And when I got back on riding my bike, it still stinks in my groin.
Things in your legs. Let's say that from now on. Okay. Okay, let's talk about that. So he stepped in an ant pile. So what has to happen is Chris doesn't quite have his balance down yet. So we have to stand him down. He doesn't, when Chris rides an Ironman, he stays in a stagnant position. He doesn't have the ability to move his hands. He's not clipped in. And the best he can do is just kind of rotate his wrists a little bit. So I want you to imagine the next time you guys are out on a bicycle, I want you to grab a stagnant position, stay in that position, do not adjust yourself, and ride there in that position for as long as possible. That is the whole way Chris does the bike ride. He'll do that for 8 hours on an Ironman. So with his inability to take nutrition and hydration on the bike, I have to physically ride ahead of him, catch him, take him off his bike, stand him down, give him his nutrition and hydration, and then send him off again. And when we were at about mile, was it 30, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
We stood him down for nutrition. He stood in an ant pile, and they bite him all over the place. And Chris had a decision to make right there. And what was the decision you had to make? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Who was going to win? Tell him.
The pain or the dream.
So you had to make a decision of who was going to win, your pain from the ant bites or your dream. And what did you tell your brain?
I said the dream.
You told your brain the dream was going to win? And then what'd you do?
Keep on riding.
You kept on riding. And then you rode for another 30 or 40 miles, and then we got a chance to see your dad, right?
Yeah.
And when we saw your dad, he got a chance to look at you and checked you out, and he said you were okay and you could keep going, right?
Yeah.
And then you started going and you were all excited and you started riding how fast?
Fast.
Really fast?
Yeah.
Like too fast?
Yeah.
You stop it. That's what they ride.
Stop it,
They ride too fast, and then tell them what happened.
Basically, I was riding way too fast. Like 21 miles per hour.
21 miles an hour.
And I had no harness in, and apparently, like, I was shocked that the bike was like a tour.
The bike was out of control. Okay, then what happened?
And I basically went to a skid.
The skid.
Like, I was going right at Dan.
You almost crashed into
Yeah.
the dam. And then what happened? Then what happened to you? What did you do?
I crashed.
You crashed on the ground?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then you tell the rest.
You want me to tell the rest?
Yeah.
So Chris was, had the ant bites, and he met with his father there, like he said. And like what Chris does is he'll get a hug, and a hug will recenter him, and it actually energizes him. And I've got the ability to give Chris a hug and resolve about 95% of his problems. But that other 5%, that's reserved for dad. So he got a great hug from dad, and he was full of energy, and he took off, and he was riding his bike a little too fast. And we were on a decline. And as we were doing this decline, there was a bump along the way. And I noticed he was going too fast, and the opportunity for him to get out of control was starting to show up. So I rode up next to him and I said, "Hey man, slow down." And he didn't have his hearing aids in, so he couldn't hear me. So I yelled out again, "Hey man, slow down." He didn't hear me the second time. And the third time I had to yell really loud, "Hey man, slow down." And I think he may have got a little bit scared that I was yelling at him. So he wanted to do what I said. So he grabbed on his back brake, and he grabbed his back brake right when he hit a bump in the road. So his tire probably came off the road. And as it came off the road, when it landed back down, it put him into a skid. He initially skidded right at me, which I was right next to him. I was able to get away from him because rule number one of being a guide is don't get hurt, because if I get hurt, we're both done. And so, you know, I got away from him, could hear him crashing behind me because I got ahead of him. So behind me, I could hear this bike sliding and crashing. And I was thinking to myself, like, God, really, God, this can't be the end of the story. Like, Chris is down. At that speed, a lot of athletes break their collarbones. They receive some serious injuries. And I laid my bike down. I mean, and all I could think about was, you know, please God, don't let him be injured. Don't let this be at the end of the story. There's so many people who are counting on Chris to finish this race. And this race means so much more to the Down syndrome community than just Chris becoming an Ironman. It's an opportunity for the world to know, like, Chris and people like Chris can amount to something. And I didn't want their dreams and Chris's dreams and Nikic's work to literally end at a bike crash halfway through this race. That's not how I wanted the story to go. I'm of the belief that if Chris would have gotten severely injured, that would have probably been the last time somebody with Down syndrome for a long time even got a chance to do an Ironman. The expectations are so low on them that they think that, you know, it's impossible already, and we probably pushed it too far and we injured someone. And all of that's going through my head as I'm going into a skid, and I turn around to see Chris. And when I go back to see Chris, what happened? What were you doing? Do you remember?
You tell her.
He's already on his feet. He's jumping up and down and saying, Uncle Dan, I just crashed my bike. And he's got a huge smile on his face. And I'm like, I'm an emotional overload. As a parent, I'm sure you've been there before. And all I can say is, you're killing me. Stop laughing. You're killing me, boy. Let's remember it is killing me. So back on the bike, and what happened after that, Chris?
I basically went into a qualifying time.
You made it on the cutoff time?
Yeah,
you did it. He did it. He had to work really, really hard to make up a lot of time because, you know, like, think about it. You and I, we have normal processing speed. You know, we can recover mentally from things. He has a reduced processing speed. Think about the will that Chris had to have to crash his bike and get over it in a short amount of time. You and I get into a bike crash going down 21 miles an hour. We have skin knees, road rash all over both of our legs. We start thinking, is this a good idea? We might be a little bit more cautious. We might slow down. He didn't have that as an option towards the end of the race. He had to physically ride faster at the end of the race than he's ever ridden before. And
Wow.
he did. And the reason why he did is because he had to ask himself that same question he asked before. What was that question? Who's going to win?
The pain.
The pain or the dream. And which choice did you make that time?
The dream.
And he talks about the dream, right? So, Chris, what is the dream? To live what?
Live independent.
You want to live independently?
And basically have my own luxury house with a bowling alley.
No, stop it.
Basketball,
All right.
increases yoga.
Okay,
and
okay.
African.
So you want to have your own house. I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do you want to have?
I want to have my own car.
Mm.
And then maybe smoking hot blonde.
Like who?
Smoking blonde.
And what does the concept of a smoking hot blonde mean? You want to marry someone that loves you what?
You tell him.
You tell him.
You tell him.
You want me to tell him?
Yeah.
See, that's one of his concepts. Some of your listeners may hear him say he wants to marry a smoking hot blonde, but that's a concept. Chris wants to marry someone like his mom that will love him unconditionally, like his mom loves him. He wants to have what his dad has. His dad has his own house. He has his own car, and he has the love of a companion that is with him for the rest of his days, that loves him in good times and bad. And Chris sees that, and he wants that just like all other 21-year-olds. Those are great dreams. See, a lot of people think that Chris's dream was to be an Ironman. That was never his dream. That was your what?
Goal.
That was his goal. And what I hope your listeners can hear here is that Chris keeps revisiting his dreams. He's aware of his dreams. He can tell you what they are. He can tell you the whole concept behind it. He understands it. And whenever life makes him question, is the pain going to win or the dream's going to win, he chooses what?
Dream.
He chooses the dream every time because it's so real for him and he wants it. And it's not something that he sets in January and forgets by February. It's alive and present with him every day, right, buddy? It's going to happen, isn't it? That's right.
Amazing.
Really want to get married right now.
You're not waiting anymore.
I'm not waiting anymore.
He's not waiting anymore. He wants to get married right now. So he wants to let all your listeners know that you're what?
Single.
Tell them, not me.
Single, adorable, and available.
He's single, adorable, and available, aren't you? Applications for Mrs. Nikic as we speak.
That's great. So I'm going to have a hard time getting through this show without crying because I need a hug from all the great stuff that you guys are telling. Yeah, like, yeah, bring it in.
Don't put this up. Well, she needs one.
If she's in Michigan, I can go up there right now.
Right now?
Can't come to Michigan right now, no.
Yeah, I'm coming for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually in Crystal Lake if you're ever in this direction. But if you go see Loretta in Michigan, I will go there to Michigan and see you too. It's not
Right.
very. So we look forward to that. So I know that you got invited to the World Championships in Hawaii on October 9th. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. It is basically 5 to 10 times harder than any distance I'm athlete. I mean, each year athletes have been selected to go to Hawaii and be ready to compete. I've seen a lot of Ironman people are doing Ironman in Hawaii. I've seen Dan doing Ironman Hawaii. I've seen Hector that did. I've seen a guy from Instagram who did that, and I've seen many local heroes that on Ironman in Hawaii back in probably 2002. And be some motivational video about heroes who've done. I'm in Kona and I've seen Anna Bam and
That's good.
I've seen from my heroes, I've seen Kyle and his dad, and his dad lead his son during Ironman, and he is in a wheelchair, and someone had to like put his son in a safe place so his dad could drag him to swim, drag his son to a bike. They used to eat foods by the bike, and
Hey, why don't you stop there? Stop there.
non-one.
Step there. Good job. So Kona, Hawaii is in October of this year.
Yeah,
And you can only go there if you're uninvited?
yeah,
And you got an invite?
yeah,
On national TV?
yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And who's going with you?
Huh?
Oh, they're going. I'm not invited
No.
anymore? My spot. You got a guy now, Loretta.
All right, I got this. I got you, Chris.
Thank you.
Who needs Dan?
Yeah. Okay, there.
He's having so much fun today. Are you having fun? You love this stuff?
I love this woman.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. You're my rock, and I just love you.
Okay, that's it.
So we're wondering if you had one piece of advice for somebody wanting to do an Ironman, what would that be?
my advice would be we've been hearing about doctors and the experts. Listen, there are options. Those options are bad. Um, there's no way any child can live a life of independence while being isolated at home and being lazy and um, that's we bad habit. My advice is that we need to stop listening to them and take the lid off and let them have a chance to go after the dream and the goals. To actually let them be involved in the community and be part of um, who they are. And my advice for them to be Ironman is if they are willing to work hard, then the parents need to trust me to lead the child with Ironman.
Let's stop there for a second. So the advice he just gave is for other people with Down syndrome. And what he basically said there, and for those that can't exactly catch his accent, is that they need to stop listening to the experts and know that your child can amount to much, and that the options that you're given and at birth are not good options. And that if you give your child a chance, they can live a life of inclusion and they don't have to live a life of isolation. And the reason why he can tell you that advice is because that's the life he lived, right, buddy? Until he was about 18 years old and his parents said, we're going to take the lid off and see how far he could go. And now he's changing the world for people just like him. And that's where his heart is. Now, for people that don't have Down syndrome, right? And they just want to get off the couch on their own and do an Ironman, what advice would you give them? Not people with Down syndrome. What advice would you give them?
I would basically just say that they need to realize that they need not to be at home. They need not to be isolated no more. We need to give them a chance to go and do an Ironman
And how do they do it? By getting what? Tell
by
them.
getting 1% better every day.
Make a commitment to do that.
And they commit to work hard.
Work hard.
And they are committed to eat more. And they are committed to do with a freaking smile.
Do everything with a smile. And what else? Make no what?
And most importantly, make zero excuses.
Make zero excuses. Love that. That's great advice for anybody.
Yeah.
Good job.
You are smart, Chris. You have some good advice.
Yes. Yes.
Good deal.
You can ask the next question.
Well, we would like to know what is the most important thing that you would like people to know about you, Chris?
I know that you're single.
They want to know more about Chris Nikic Day. They need to learn more about Chris Nikic, who he was, and what has become of. They need to know about Chris Nikic, who stands up for what's right.
Mm.
It's not about giving options. Whenever, let's say, I'll give you an example.
In this way.
If a bad driver loses temper towards me or my dad, then my dad is straight back at him.
Okay.
And I love his temper. And I'm like, oh, what kind of, so I'm like, Dad, what kind of words do you use?
Hey, hold on.
Is that the Nikic swearing?
All right, stop
It's
it.
like,
That's not what they asked. Hey, that's not what they asked. What they asked you is, how do you want to be remembered? And I think the answer that you normally tell people is there's two things. Number one is Chris wants the world to know that he's an example, right?
Mm.
And that he recognizes that He inspires a lot of people. Do you inspire a lot of people?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of messages on Instagram
Yeah.
from moms?
Yeah.
And what do they say?
They're basically saying I'm the hero.
You're their hero because you inspire who?
The kids.
You inspire their kids that they can become something just like you, right? And that they can live a life of what?
Independence.
Of independence and inclusion, just like you're gonna do, right?
And it's really about Chris Nicic's legacy. It's about Chris Nicic's life. It's about Chris Nikic having his own house. It's about Chris Nikic having his own car. And it's about Chris Nikic with unconditional love of a woman who is caring, warm, caring, pretty hard, and extra spicy hard.
All right, that's enough. Extra spicy hot's enough.
Yeah. Romantic.
Okay, that's good.
Well, you're certainly working very hard at that and deserve everything that's been coming to you.
Like I said, I'm getting married right now. I'm not ready.
He's getting married. He wants to get married right now. He's not waiting any longer.
And my dad says, you gotta wait. I'm like, Dad, no. It's like, who says? I'm like, Dad says. Dad says, Chris Nikic wants to get married right now.
Right, and I tell you that God's got your beautiful wife already on the way, and we just have to trust God's timing.
And I already know who's the woman.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, next
Yes,
question.
yes, God definitely has a plan for you, and you'll be introduced at the right time. I'm curious, while you're in Hawaii, if there's anything that you want to do besides the Ironman.
This is besides Ironman.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to spend time with the hot ladies.
We're always going back to that.
I know.
Well, don't forget, you're interviewing a 21-year-old, so
Okay, well,
you weren't thinking he was gonna say go like visit some museum, did you? He's got Down syndrome, but he's 21. He wants to see places in Hawaii.
I
No, like coffee with them. And have Corona with them.
You want to
And have
Corona?
wine with them. And dance with them. And have dinner with them.
Oh wow, you got a full night going, don't you?
Yeah.
You.
I just can't stop talking about them because it's about pure love.
It's about pure love. Okay, stop
It
there.
is
My
about-
heart goes out to them.
Let him answer.
Their
Next
heart goes out to me.
question. Okay, next question.
Okay. Next question.
Well, we have a tradition in the show, the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5, which is like fun questions that we ask at the end, towards the end of our shows. Should we move on to that, Coach Loretta?
Absolutely. Are you ready, Chris? These are my questions. All
five
right.
questions, and
So I
you
have
just have
5
to-
questions.
Fast.
Okay.
Four.
Short.
All right. First question. Do you have any pets?
One dog.
What's your dog's name?
Rusty?
You don't have a
Rusty.
dog right now.
It's Diego.
That was a year ago. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
That was so
Okay.
classy though.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, next question. What is one thing about you that people might not know?
One thing about me is being a hero, being a leader,
And
being
so-
the first really means that show them what they're truly capable of. They need to know that if they're ready to do an Ironman, I can lead them to an Ironman.
Got it. Beautiful. Next one.
Nice. Okay, question number 3. Do you have a favorite television show?
My favorite television show is Blue Bloods
Blue Bloods?
because this is a female district attorney, Erin Boyle. Who's a brunette.
All right. Do you have a goal picked after Kona?
Yeah, becoming a PTA golfer.
I
Ooh.
like that.
I really want my wife to see me play PTA golfer.
Are you already training for golfing?
I am.
He's actually
Nice.
very good.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm good at it.
He's probably better than me already.
Yeah, better than you there.
Stop it.
All right, and I have the fifth question, the last question. What is your favorite treat for a job well done?
You know what your favorite treat is. You don't have to think about that.
What?
You know what your favorite treat is for a job well done?
My favorite
chocolate.
Chris achievement job is being part of my race day team. Dan brought me to his office because we have hot ladies here.
Buddy, that's not the question.
And
That's not the
help
question.
me, support me,
Okay. So this Chris is-
meaningful ways.
hey, that's not her question. Here's her question. Ready?
Yeah.
What is your favorite treat?
Treats.
So when you give us your personal best,
yeah.
what do you go get? You
I
monkey.
Well, my favorite treat is Chipotle.
And no.
Yeah,
P.F. Chang's Great Wall of Chocolate.
I know.
That's your
Plus
other one?
Chipotle.
Okay, both. So he likes Chipotle and P.F. Chang's.
And Waffle House.
If we know anybody at any one of those three restaurants, they need to sponsor this kid because we literally eat there daily, right?
Yeah.
One of those gets eaten every day.
What's your favorite thing to eat there?
Eggs smothered, covered with chili.
That's Waffle House.
Okay.
And then Chipotle is double rice, double F. So it's double rice and double of everything.
And then what
Nice.
about it?
And then P.F. Chang's would be double rice, double chicken, double chocolate cake.
You don't get double chocolate cake.
Yeah,
You don't.
and then double ramen noodles.
Lo mein noodles. What? Chang's what?
Pork,
Chang's what? Chang spicy.
Chang's spicy chicken,
That's his favorite.
and
Nice.
chicken roll.
Dragon roll. Okay, good.
Well, thank you guys very much. It's really exciting for us to see all the comments that are being left for you. I see Ryan Steiner has already messaged you, and Ryan is autistic, and he says that you are also inspiring the autistic community in what you do. And we're getting a lot of messages that love the relationship between the Coach Dan and Chris. So thank you so much for sharing that. Like, you guys are just amazing, and we really appreciate you being on the show.
It's our honor to do it. We know that it definitely is somewhat emotional to people, and I want you to know that emotion is good. It's because when you see Chris, what Chris is a mirror of ourselves, and we get to see what's possible in ourselves. And Chris's story, the reason why we cry when we see Chris's story is because we think of ourselves a lot of times as the underdog, and we want to win at things in life. So be inspired by Chris's story. There's nothing about Chris in his life that anyone needs to feel bad for. Chris lives a charmed life. He lives a better life than I do. He has more joy in his life than I have. I have a lot more joy in my life because I have Chris in my life. And it came from my willingness to be uncomfortable, my willingness to go into a world that I didn't know about. 14 months ago, guys, this is the fact. You see how close Chris and I am? I did not know a single person with Down syndrome in the world. So I 14 months ago, I didn't know any of this stuff. And now him and I are doing great things is because I was willing to be uncomfortable and willing to include him in my world. And here's the difference. My world was this big, it was small. And then he brought me into a world much bigger. I mean, he does 4 podcasts a day. He does a lot of stuff. Him and I are going to travel and speak together. I'm a professional speaker on the side, but I'm never going to get the gigs he's getting. And it's because I was willing to lean in. And more than anything else, I left being his coach, and I've got my ticket punched for the rest of my life, and I became his uncle. And now I've got a young man that's going to bless me for the rest of my life. And this gift is available to all of your listeners. So the last thing I'd like to say, if I could, is that number one is there's people that feel some emotion. They want to help Chris. The Nikic family are very private people, so I have to do all the talking for them. They're very proud of what they've done, what their son has done. but he's got a GoFundMe up. He's got a lot of expenses to go to Hawaii and do that. If any of your listeners want to go to GoFundMe under Chris Nikic and make a donation, that would be great. I know people want to help, but you can't travel to Florida and you can't come give them a hug in person. But you know what? You can make your job a little bit more valuable. That job where you're waiting tables or driving an Uber or whatever you're doing, you can add meaning to that because you can help this young man, change the world, not just for people with Down syndrome, but show what's possible for everyone. And it's a huge honor. Please feel free to follow him on Instagram. His name is Chris Nikic. You can follow me as well. My name is D Grieb. That we update them on a regular basis. You can follow our journey, and we're honored to keep doing it. And thank you so much for having us on your podcast. It's a complete honor, pleasure.
Yeah, it's an honor for us, and we are a race director company, so we put on ultra marathons. So if you ever have the desire to run an ultra marathon, we will take good care of you, and we would be honored to have you there.
You want to do that? We might make that happen. That's a reality. There's anything that someone with Down syndrome has not done before. We're willing to try to break that barrier and show people what's possible. And that's on my bucket list, is to do an ultra. So for sure. And before we sign off, if you could make sure you send us, give us your addresses so we can send you some stuff. Okay.
Okay. We will do that. And we'll send you information on the races, and we would be absolutely honored to have you.
Yeah, I might not be able to support you in an Ironman, Chris, but I could support you in an ultra marathon.
Oh, right. But here is
they want to go. That's not
the last thing.
Okay. Real quick.
This story is really powerful.
Let me hear it.
Your notes on the phone. I want to say that back in 2019, I met Dan, and as a boy, he was a boy, and he had an abusive dad, very alcoholic, and he used to beat up. He would like literally beat up his son.
All right. Well, let's talk a story about. Talk about us.
He punched him.
Hey, let's talk about us, our friendship.
Fire thrown. He had a scar on his forehead. That is really bad. Then we wanted to be a man and wanted to make his decisions, not his dad. And that's when he went to church. He found Mindy. They had a relationship, and then also a real estate company here in Orlando.
This is about you, not me. Come on,
And
finish up.
he did Ironmans. He did 2 marathons, and he lost 400 pounds.
Yep.
And wanted to lead a blind person through an Ironman. And that's how he met me. And I swam at the Nikic Lake in Orlando. It was part of the tri-peak meetings of the Special Olympics. And Dan saw me and knew that God was able to bring him up, and he wanted to be with me as long as he's no longer a coach, but an uncle. And when it comes to being an uncle, that every uncle, that have an aunt, and what happens if my dad dies? What happens if mom dies? Who will take care of me? Another person can be on the lookout for me. That would be my uncle and my aunt.
That's right. That's great.
They take me to the home.
All right.
They would carry me with support, gratitude, love, and Mindy will do some
Hey, tell,
sources for a hard woman
hey,
for
that's it.
me,
That's
and
it. That's it. Hey, that's it.
that's how my knife is related to his knife.
That's right. We have a great friendship,
That-
and it all starts with inclusion, right?
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Yeah, and that's really, really beautiful, Chris, that you shared that relationship and how much you care about Dan. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
You have a lot of great people in your life. You're very blessed.
Yeah, and I can't wait to fast for Simone
Okay, that's
and
enough.
wanted a
No,
guy
that's enough
to
story.
actually be with me and my gratitude.
That's enough. Okay.
Michelle, do you mind if I share about the red glasses movement?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that maybe.
go ahead.
So there's a program called Red Glasses Movement, and it's was started in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it all started with a little girl with Down syndrome. Her name is Audrey Liu. And she passed away when she was about 5 years old, unexpectedly. And so her family wanted to carry on her tradition. And so they started a Red Glasses Movement. And their idea is to live boldly and love big and pass it on. So that's one of our next pieces of inclusion for Ornery Mule Racing. We're going to be working to put together an event with the Red Glasses Movement. So if you don't know about the Red Glasses Movement, you can go online and you can find out about it. It's really a beautiful story and a great family that's also sharing and spreading the word of inclusion and love.
That's
And I
beautiful.
would just say
Hey,
I'm
man.
sorry about her loss, and please send my thoughts and prayers to her family.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
You're a good man.
Yeah. Yes, you are a good man. Both of you. Well, thank you. And we will get in touch about possible races. It's Kettle Moraine 100, Hennepin 100. I don't know. We've got a lot. We have 10 different races. They're all ultra marathons, and it would mean the world to us to have you there.
Well, thank you. We'll find a way. Even if we come and visit and just watch, we'll be there. We want to
Okay.
support those who are supporting us. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. God bless you guys.
Okay.
Thank
God bless
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.